I talked about this game. Supremely disappointed in the outcome, and I think it does a disservice to really the objective, the work that we were doing on this opponent, and flat out their team was better than our team. So focused on that and what we have to do for the upcoming next 48 hours as we get ready for Cincinnati.
Coach, early in the game, your defense looked like they were playing extremely well, tackling, doing the things they needed to do, and they just couldn't get the offense in gear early on. What did you see on that side?
Well, they had a good plan. I thought we were we went into the game wanting to be the more physical team. I thought there was some good physical play that something that we've been emphasizing, that we've been focusing on a ton. We fell short again coming out of halftime. So I think I look at that as there's unlimited things that you can do as a coach. I need to get the team better at coming out of halftime. That really hurt us with a 7-3 score, opening drive, touchdown, 3 and out, I believe, and we just got behind the 8 ball. So it was I think offensively we could have really used, based on their tempo in the first half, we could have really used some third downs, some execution on that, and some conversions. That was a real critical part of the game where defense was getting stops and we weren't scoring points.
How do you think your team handled the cold, and was that a factor tonight?
I don't think the weather was a factor. I think their team outperformed us in critical situations. That we lost the turnover battle, which we were 6-1 winning it. They were 6-1 winning it as well. So we knew it would come down to that, and I don't think that played a part.
Troy Aikman was really critical on the broadcast over the lack of a hurry up in the fourth quarter. Why was there not more urgency there to get played in the play?
Ultimately, I knew based on the amount of possessions we needed that we were going to have to convert at least one onside kick. So, the major focus to me was getting the ball in the end zone. So if the possessions don't time out and you basically you know that you're going to have to onside it with a 3-score differential. That was kind of my focus, which is trying to get the ball in the end zone.
How is Minka doing after the calf issue?
I'll find out more. I think the first thing was that he hadn't had a calf injury before, so it's really scared him. We'll find out more as we get tests tomorrow.
Mike, now that the playoffs are out of the picture, is there any consideration to possibly playing from Rivers in these final few games at all?
Yeah, I think it would be very rash and short-sighted if I even tried to tackle that option. I think I have to look at the tape and I'll move on from there. But realistically, I'm just supremely disappointed that we couldn't come out with a win here. We had high expectations and they fell short.
Mike, it's hard, I know, right after the game to dissect what went wrong, but in terms of just the passing game over the past month, outside of garbage time tonight, what has held it back? Why is it not as smooth as we've seen it play?
Well, I think there's multiple things at play. I think ultimately everybody has to do better. You have to coach better. I think passing. A lot of times people just squarely put all the focus on the quarterback. I think there's several times tonight that one in particular that stands out where I think he was about to make the right read, and we had our eligible fall over. It's been a multitude of things. I think the way I look at it. So it has to be better for us to, be able to win games when you're not owning time of possession or controlling the game on the ground. That limits you a ton. So it's not up to standard. And I thought Darren made a ton of plays at the end, and I should have got him involved earlier. There's a lot of things, but ultimately it hasn't been good enough, and I think that hurt us tonight.
Kind of going off that, the play design on Tua's interception, it looked like the corner dropped back in coverage because there was nobody in the flat. Was there supposed to be an eligible receiver?
No, the kind of got caught up in protection. I think the Steelers had a good plan, and early they knew where we were trying to attack. You have to. I think Tua lost sight of him, which is a big deal. He didn't see the hanging corner, so he threw it to Waddle out of the break. And it's not the ideal play that matters were made worse by the throw to the opponent.
Steelers score at the end of the first half, start of the second half. Just your thoughts on the big swing that created.
Oh, it was gigantic, and it was something that we were very focused on. We have been very focused on in the last month in particular. So that I think that as hard as we tried, that was a little too deflating because we knew that was an important area of focus that we really wanted to be good coming out of that third quarter. It was a one-score game, and I thought that was a gigantic momentum swing. Had a couple opportunities on that drive and the following drive to make some plays, and we didn't make the plays. They did.
Mike, why not lean more on the running attack early in the game, probably the first 20, when it had been going so well for you earlier this season?
I think so much of that is, I think the run-pass ratio was similar the previous game, and you come out making sure that defenses have to defend, the field, and you're trying to balance it. But when you're at risk if you don't get first downs on first and second down, like we did last game, for instance, where we're mixing up run and pass in the first 20, then you have to convert on third downs. So it's hard to get in a rhythm running the ball. It's very much a ratio that you have to earn. I think last week was an example of us executing in both run and pass. Then you get the momentum of the game. You can run the ball and avoid third downs if you're doing it right. I would have. The plan was to run it as many times as we did last week. It just didn't work out, and you're also counting on execution in both phases early to do that. So, in hindsight, you always, we always want to run the ball. So it's tough when you aren't getting the first downs and staying on the field 3-play drives, 4-play drives, 5-play drives, to get that rhythm and be able to work the line of scrimmage like we wanted to.
I know you guys have been about the process and not looking forward to the season playoff hopes or anything. How much does that help put forth your best foot forward the final 3 games now that elimination is reality?
I think it really has. My expectation is that our locker room fights for this team, and that's what they have been doing. I think it's important that we weren't chasing anything but putting forth a football that we're proud of, and I think that's why this loss is so tough. Guys were really confident going in, and but the focus has to maintain or has to be the same. I think you're probably right that I think it fits this team to put forth a valiant effort because we've just been focusing on one opponent at a time and shutting out the noise, and we're going to have to do that. As challenging as it may be, we have 3 opportunities with this team, and I think the character of the locker room has been tested all year. So my expectation is that we're going to bounce back, regardless of how much it hurts.
Last question. Okay, thank you.
Jordan, how do you feel this team defended and attacked in the third quarter?
We didn't have our best day today. Second half, I don't know what happened to us. I think it really came down to tackling. I haven't seen us tackle like that really all year. So I think it really came down to tackling. Just from fresh memory of the game without watching film, I would say it came down to tackling for us.
George, it seemed like you came out, you were tackling really well. Crisp tackling, we're playing on their side of the line of scrimmage. How did that evolve as you got into the second half?
Yeah, I don't know. I think one missed tackle led to the other. They start getting more confidence. They pushing the ball down, and then it just kind of got out of control there for a second, and that led to points. And that's not the way we've been playing defense over these last 5-6 weeks. So I couldn't tell you where that came from, but that's what the results were today.
It's a team game, but it seemed like the offense didn't do you any favors in the first half. They weren't putting points on the board, and so you guys were constantly on the field. I think the play ratio was pretty differential. Did that do anything to either being tired or whatever that when you got into the second half, that they started to get some yardage on you?
I mean, no, honestly. As a defender, if we got to play 100 plays, if we got to play 20 plays, we got to play. And this is what we work for. We callous our body for these moments because you never know how many plays you got to be out there. And we expected it to be a defensive game. We expected to be on the field a lot of plays this game. And so, like I said, I just didn't think we tackled well. I don't think we tried to tackle well. We kind of like block tackling, just throwing our shoulder in, not wrapping dudes up. And so I think that's what led to.
And I hate to bring it up, man, but like when you said throwing shoulders and not wrapping up, is that the kind of thing that happens in cold weather when guys don't want to be physical?
I don't know. I can't speak for everybody else. I don't think that. From my teammates and knowing how we go to work every day, I just think it didn't go our way today. I think we were trying to be physical because we had some block tackles where we were knocking guys back and then tried it again and it didn't work. So at the end of the day, we always got to wrap up. We take the tackle rather than a big hit. And so I think the mindset was right. We just didn't execute.
What explanation did you get on the taunting penalty? Was it the standing over the receiver?
Yeah, I actually didn't know it was taunting. I thought they called me for like helmet to helmet, to be honest with you. And then my coach told me when I got back on the sideline it was taunting. I apologize to them. That was selfish on my part. Frustrated in the game. I let emotions get the best of me, and so that's one I take to the chin for sure.
Were you feeling okay? It looked like you were kind of like shaking your legs a little bit. Were you feeling okay by the end of the game?
Yeah, I was good. I mean, normal stuff that happens there on the field. So I was great.
As a leader, what do you say to guys in the locker room as now the team is eliminated, and I'm sure you guys are still trying to put your best foot forward for these last 3 games?
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough, to be honest with you. I think being eliminated, you never want to hear that. But we still got to play. We still got 3 games left on the schedule. So I feel that we should finish the right way. And I think that shows character. And that's what we'll be playing for.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Tua will be in soon.
First, you get eliminated, this elimination playoffs, the thoughts on that, and how you get past that and keep playing. It's going to be tough knowing that you don't have that opportunity.
Yeah, it is tough. We got to play better ball if we want to win games against good teams. Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing we didn't get the outcome we wanted to, and everything that goes on with the playoffs. But when you start the season the way we did, we made it hard on ourselves. So we just got to come in on a Wednesday, and we got to get back to work. Really, at the end of the day, it's about pride that you have for yourself, your last name on your back. Who you are as a husband, who you are as a father, as a son, as a teammate, all of that. So we'll see come on Wednesday.
Offensively, you struggled in the first half. You couldn't get much done.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple sacks in there, opportunities missed. What did you see, and what led to that from what they were doing to you?
There were just some things offensively that we were doing that we were messing ourselves up, really. Just basically every aspect, from my communication to the guys, with them getting in the huddle, calling the plays, getting out, guys knowing where to go with their alignments. It's all of that.
That seems to be something that's happened quite a bit in the latter part of the season. And got 3 more games to try to fix that before the next year, or what brought that on?
Well, I think it's hard to hear for some of the guys in the huddle, and so I would sort of test it to that, but I think there's a lot of things that could go into that.
Can you break down what occurred on the interception? Were you surprised by the depth of Asante in coverage?
Yeah, on that I came off of the first read and sort of lost where he was behind the lineman, and I only seen Jay Rams with Jalen, and so felt he had leverage, and I was gonna, with that negative leverage, kind of flatten him down, and then I ended up seeing him last minute.
The play where you scrambled short with Patrick Queen, grabbed you by the upper part of your body, stopped short. Was that a slide? It looked kind of like halfway you were sideways, like thinking about diving but sliding a little bit?
I don't know. I would say things happen so fast when you got to make split decisions, and it was what it was.
Did you hear it from Jalen Ramsey throughout the game? And him being a former teammate
Nah, Jay. I mean, not from Jay Rams. Talked to him a long time after the game, though. You know, he wanted to talk, so talked to him. But that's my dude. Solid player, solid person. You know, I enjoy competing against him. Wish the outcome would have been different, though. So I could have talked a little more of my, to him. But
What do you personally hope to accomplish in these last 3 games?
well, I think with the way the seasons went, the outcome today, it's more about what I said earlier. Pride that the guys take. For everyone, it's not just about football; it's about life, right? When things go good, everyone understands how certain people react or how people are more motivated to continue to do things. But you got to take yourself back to whatever it was, that 12-year-old kid. Like, you take yourself back to that, and you tell yourself, like, dude, what if you were playing in the NFL? You'd be ecstatic. That would have been your dream. You get to live it. But with that being said, you also got to come out with a sense of urgency of, do you take pride in what you do when things are going good and when things are going bad? Because it falls into every asset of what you do in your life. So that was sort of my message to the guys after the game.
Ultimately, how did you feel in the goal